What is up, guys? Eric here from EVM Productions, here with a 1 a.m. video. Okay, so this one's a little bit different because I don't talk that much about influencer boxing, but I wanted to make a video about this because this is a very interesting point that people have been making. So the other day, Vidal Riley and Leon, the previous coaches of KSI, actually came out and said, well, his skills have been going down over the years, not going up, because he slowly left the fundamentals of boxing. And you know what? I haven't watched that clip until I watched a different video talking about it, or just asking, did he really go downhill? And I honestly feel that they said like he did his best with his Joe Weller, which it's really easy to look that good when you're boxing a guy who's literally a beginner, etc. Sorry, Joe Weller can fight straight. He improved a tiny bit over the years and got his confidence back, but he still can't fight. Still can't fight. He shouldn't fight. It's cool. It's cool. Now, that's not the point here, though. They did have a point with the fundamentals, the jab, the hooks, etc. However, I feel KSI looked his best, or JJ looked his best, in the Logan Paul rematch. Even though a lot of people are like, oh yeah, we remember him winging a lot. A lot of small things he did in that fight actually opened up the overhands, etc. Which most people rewatching that will not be able to see, etc. And also for Logan Paul, I just want to mention this as well, that was also his best fight. Literally, that was his best fight by a wide margin. And the wins that KSI has accrued over time, even though some of them are a little bit questionable, still means that was his best showing because he looked very competitive with KSI at that point. Now, I do agree with Leon and Vidal because KSI slowly jumped away from boxing over time. And I think the last camp where he really wanted to box was actually the Logan Paul 2 fight. And from there, it was him just watching combat sports. Obviously, UFC was blowing up during COVID because they were the first sport that opened up. And I think him just seeing the clips of Michael Venom Page, Darren Till, Conor McGregor, guys like that, even though he won't admit Conor McGregor is the influence because obviously he's a possible opponent one day if Conor actually pops up in the ring then. However, he has to admit, guys like that, Lyoto Machida, these guys are influences in his style. Even Robert Whittaker, because most likely he watched Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero, Israel Adesanya. Izzy's, though, somebody he can't copy. Like, nah. Now, the main point is, he was influenced by these guys doing a mix of karate-based styles. I hate that people think in and out bounciness is always instantly karate. It isn't. But, oh well. However, this style, the reason why this style of fighting, the in and out bouncy style, I'm going to call it just the bounce style, works for athletes that it works with is their speed, their natural attributes. Now, yeah, there were influences on JJ's development, combat development, but they were not the best routes for him to follow because JJ is not Michael Venom Page with the speed, the reaction times, the eyes. What I mean by that is this is distance management, the setups, like, etc. When I was watching Shara Putudin versus Michael Venom Page, I was like, oh, damn. This is the difference between anybody who does this style, like Darren Till used to do this style, possibly still does. The difference between the two, between Darren Till and MVP is literally just speed, sheer speed, and then these smaller details. Like I said, the setups, his reaction times is very strong, etc. And that means that very basic 1-2 that he throws over and over, or 1-2 and a loose hook. This is now Michael Venom Page what I'm talking about. The high kicks and the low kick. I don't remember if he kicked that much to the body as well. Like a roundhouse kick to the body, yes, but not many straight kicks because he's bouncing in and out and retreating, whether it's a shot or put it in. But the point is, he has a very small bag of weapons. It's why he got beaten in Bellator before. Now, the only difference is people who beat him set him up to time him or just timed him, but you need incredible reaction for reaction speed for that. And you need to know what weapon to use, what defense and instant attack you need to use to stop a guy like that. That's why he lost. It's not because, let me say it like this. A guy with minimal weapons can be stopped really easy in fighting, especially MMA. But if a guy with minimal weapons uses them correctly, like the fundamentals, then he wins. Same thing applies in boxing when you see some of the strongest guys with fundamentals, like Canelo Alvarez, just win. They have strong foundation and they win. Even Dmitry Bivol is actually very technical, but also very strong in his fundamentals. All of the best guys are actually. Only guys like Lomachenko really broke that mold for a while. Guillermo Rigondeaux, definitely not really. He's a Cuban-styled guy, but just watch how he throws certain stuff. He definitely is not in the typical fundamental box. He just understands fundamentals kind of well, so he can expose them. Who else? Floyd Mayweather. Straight up, Floyd Mayweather he used his fundamentals for a long time, and then he developed the Philly shell to a different level. And that's very unorthodox. Very unorthodox. And guess what? Those guys all have the speed attribute or a different kind of attribute. Well, actually, yeah, Rigondeaux, Lomachenko, yeah, they all have the speed attribute. And that's what I'm getting at. KSI, by just copying the style, is learning slowly that the better opponents that he will face, not Dillon Danis, which is coming up, which nobody's going to watch, by the way, but the better opponents he faces will be too quick for him. They will be able to set him up so that he can get countered when he just bounces in and out, or a typical jab will just eat him up, just like Tommy Fury did. So it's very interesting to think about this. And the funny part is, many guys, when I started out with, let me say when I jumped over to MMA, eventually, I realized that a lot of people was molding their styles according to their favorite fighter. Even I tried to do this by mimicking Anderson Silva. I love Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is still like his highlights and stuff. But the problem that I realized is I am not built the same way as Anderson Silva. I do not have the reaction times. I do not have the accuracy, because Anderson Silva's punch accuracy is insane. It's why he actually knocked people out, and it's why people later didn't get knocked out as much by him. It's because it was not just raw power that he was knocking people out with. It's where he placed his punches. He touched you perfectly, and then you slept. So he touches your chin just right. Conor McGregor kind of did that as well, but not to the degree that Anderson Silva did. I don't think there's anybody who has been a better sniper, like a perfect sniper, than Anderson Silva. Like, Conor was the last guy that I can think of that was a proper sniper, like him. I really need to go check through the UFC and watch some of the older fights, etc. Like, people can argue that Izzy arguably can be like that, but no, Izzy didn't knock people out like that. He didn't, not at all. He didn't just touch them one shot, pop, and then they sleep. So anyway, I did the same thing. I tried to be Anderson Silva and pulled a few of his tricks out and quickly learned in sparring that this will not work. I am not Anderson Silva. I'm not built like him. That's one problem. Two, the second problem is my attributes are way different. I was very explosive, but slower. And I'm still like that in some ways. And later on, when I put on some more muscle and stuff, I realized, oh no, I won't be the smooth punching guy. I'm more like a marauder. Let me say it like that for now, because it's going to be hard to explain. But that's when I incorporated a lot of tactics that Canelo uses. And guess what? I gained so much success, even in MMA and in boxing. When I started doing boxing on its own for a while, same thing. So what I'm trying to get at is, if KSI and his weird new coach does not go back to the fundamentals and or just work around KSI's advantages, advantages, disadvantages, etc. If they work around these attributes correctly with fundamental boxing, if they don't do that, he's just going to keep losing after the Dillon Danis fight. Like, I have a feeling he's going to fight Dillon Danis. Then either Darren Till's going to fight him, and I'm dead sure Darren Till wins, because his in and out bounciness and kind of athleticism is not going to be able to overcome Darren Till. Darren Till has taken punches from much heavier hitters and stuff. Plus, again, he's going to meet the guy who can do his style better. And yeah, and then if he meets another guy like Jake Paul, not that he fought Jake Paul, I mean Tommy Fury and Jake Paul have one thing in common. They have a better jab than all of these other guys in the influencer space. If KSI fights any of these guys with a stronger jab, that's a heavy guy, like Jake Paul, he will lose. If he just bounces in and out, one less, like with the Tommy Fury fight, will be boring because most people will think that Tommy just doesn't want to throw, he's hesitant and stuff like that. The reason why is because a guy bouncing in and out, kind of in kicking range, etc., you miss them, or you land if you aim for certain body parts and stuff. The only way you can beat one of those guys is if you can cut off the ring quite well, because then you jumble them up into a small zone. And then you need to be better at medium to infighting range. If you're not, then again, like Tommy Fury's build is the reason why he's not that crazy good inside. It's why, what was the guy's name? The black guy that he fought with, that he went with, I think he went to a decision with. The guy fought a little while ago. Sorry guys, I don't care about influence in boxing. It's like literally my mind is like, empty that space in your brain. Only few people there is interesting. And I've forgotten what the guy's name is, man. He's a former MMA fighter, but that guy, he did quite well by being in close with Tommy Fury in the pocket and stuff. Don't worry. Anthony Taylor, I think. Yeah, I think it's Anthony Taylor. Taylor did well by doing that. And that's what I meant by the build. If your build is a certain way, then you fight according to that, or you don't. And the don't part is when your coaches realize, oh, for your body build, this is not going to work. Like if my coaches said, now you need to be supremely light on your feet, and you need to be like Lomachenko. You need to disappear when people try to punch you. Let me say it like that, or something like that. Just for now, as an example. Then I won't be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to do a similar style at my level of boxing. Yeah, by the way, there's a lot of people, they don't understand. If you say you're imitating somebody, it doesn't mean you fight exactly like them and you are at their skill level. It means you're imitating them at the skill level you are at. So here's Lomachenko through the roof, and down here is somebody that wants to fight like him. Yeah, there's many fighters that have done that, many boxers as well, and then they did quite well. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that I agree with Leon and Vidal to one degree, but I don't agree with them with the Joe Wheeler fight being his best fight. And also, I'm not really going to watch much of the fights from here on. The influencer boxing space has been here for like 5, 6, 7 years. It went super stale the last 2 years. Really, it went super stale. Especially after Jake lost to Tommy Fury, I could feel the fans were just like went dwindling. And when KSI started fighting this weirdly, I instantly had got a bad feeling about it. And then also him just acting up in weird ways, etc. Really out of character. And then also the crypto scams and stuff like that. All of this rubbish just happened. And then now he's just in the position where he doesn't really have many opponents to fight. And then all of the interesting opponents, he doesn't fight. Like, everybody was like, okay, so he's going to fight Darren Till now next. Boop, no, he's going to fight bloody Dillon Danis. The guy that can't fight. He can't fight. He's literally just a jiu-jitsu guy. He can't fight. Sorry. That's why he got choked out by a bouncer even. Which is horrible still. Anyway, he can't fight. Now he's fighting this dude. And I'm pretty sure it's going to break a record for how little amount of people are going to watch it. And yeah, so no Darren Till, which is interesting. No Gibb, which we know they have a rivalry right now, and which is very weird because at one moment they're a little bit friendly, and then the next moment they're like, "You, I'm gonna kill you," and that's just weird. Who else is there? Salt Poppy. Yeah, the guy, he does well. I like Salt Poppy, but still, he wins, he loses. He wins, he loses the last while. I don't know who else. And you can't get a rematch with Tommy Fury. There was a time where people was like, yes, get a rematch, because we think KSI won, but then people slowly just like, oh, he didn't win. And he's never fighting Jake Paul. It's really, the last few years, it seems like he's been getting into his own head. Years back, he was very confident he would beat Jake Paul. But I think Jake's wins, and some self-talk on where he is in his career, like politically, is why he was like, nah, I'm not fighting him. And now it's just a story of these two just playing a stupid game with each other and winning stupid prizes because everybody's calling them out on it all the time. And now the scene is dying. Like, the scene is really dying. Like, all these other guys doing it really are not interesting to watch. Only guy that is interesting to me to watch is Remo. Remo I've been watching before he started boxing for Misfits Boxing and stuff. I like him. I like that Wade Plem got into the ring. But that was just more because I was a fan, and I am a fan of Wade. It's not because I like Misfits. Who else? See? And yeah, I'm essentially a casual fan for the Misfits Boxing and the Influencer Boxing. Oh yeah, and Logan Paul, the dude never fights anybody that is actually around his skill level, so he lost every fight he attempted to win, and then when he fought Dillon Danis, it was a shit show. Boo-hoo. Anyway, guys, yeah, that scene is definitely dying. We should put it to bed after Jake Paul finally also decides to just jump to proper pro boxing and fight a few cans and then build up, because the cans will build up his name, and then from there, if he starts fighting some good talent and actually wins, or even if he's competitive with them, it would actually be a win. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Maybe you guys learned something from it, in the sense of do not just imitate your favorite fighters. Learn the fundamentals, and then see where you're stronger, and then just work on that. Don't just work on, oh, I'm going to be just like this guy. You understand? Cheers.